well yesterday in the sprint that's only third as long as this race today.
They used soft tyres for Kimi Antonelli too, hard tyres for Max Verstappen, as you can see. What they do give you off the line is about 2.3 metres of extra gain from the grip that you've got with those soft tyres. 8 metres between Norris and Antonelli. They're hoping he can force his way alongside and maybe pick up a place.
Yeah, and they'll hope they warm up a little bit quicker, so they'll hope he's got a bit of confidence to go down. But it is Antonelli's fight today with Norris. You know what? It might just be.
If you were 19 years of age and you're on the front row once more and you've got a chance of winning a Grand Prix, you're going to pick that fight, that's for sure. Whether it's is another matter. The Mercedes is that we've done well this weekend. We've got a bit of pace, but McLaren have probably got the edge.
I think there's no doubt about it.
Glad to be back, Robert. Drink this coffee and then had my coffee. I'm having my coffee now, and then I'm gonna immediately follow into White Claw Raspberry.
The sprint race to win it, led qualifying to get pole for the Grand Prix, the 6th pole position of the season. Contrasting fortunes from Max Verstappen and a Red Bull. Now we've seen them come from 17th on the grid to take a victory 12 months ago. It's a tall order today, but if anyone could do it, you know Max could do it. That's the view that Lando Norris has got. That quite a unique start here that the drivers are facing. And is Antonelli pointing to the right already?
Did you still want to see Puppy?
How do you normally get your viewers? Do you get them when you post on Instagram?
Usually just right now Snapchat, and then I've been doing reposting that on stories on Instagram right away, but just trying to get. Right now, I think it's mostly people I know that are watching.
Yeah.
But I've been doing GeoGuessr and chess, and I've been getting just random people from the categories.
I drink decaf coffee. I don't have any caffeine, so it doesn't really make me burp. Oh my god, dude. Max in the back. Like,
yeah, I know. It's kind of beneficial to start.
I really just want, like, I really want him to, like, somehow do what, Lewis Hamilton pulled off, like the whole, like from the back all the way to the front.
Yeah.
Like,
the horseshoe and doing well to rejoin safely onto the track. There he is, battling away with Nico Hulkenberg.
What do you think about this F1 style? I think I've shown you this before. F1 style clothing line. It's called Lonely Ghost, but it'll be like an F1 style shirt. Oh no, Gabrielle! I was gonna bet on somebody not finishing the race. I thought about him. I was like, no, that just feels mean.
The first few corners, he might have a bit of a puncher. He's made contact with Carlos Sainz, I've been told now. It's only Behrman is lining up a move on the Alpine.
I think it's extra large. But this is before, yeah, I lost some weight.
Steering arm, and he got squeezed into the barriers by Lance Stroll and the Aston Martin.
Safety car.
Broken steering arm. He will not be able to recover that car, and it is a safety car. It's a very early safety car, and that looks like damage on the front.
I'm pretty sure I do too.
Go down the size?
No, I don't even go down the size.
Cool.
Because he can get in the pits and
This person said he wants in his sleep.
And this is why it's full safety car now.
I was like, I'm pretty sure everyone does.
Compound tires, you want to stay out there. So
Is your body relaxed?
Looking at it was Carlos Sainz in the back of Lewis Hamilton and putting all that
I'm
shape
gonna touch
in the
yours.
first corner.
It's okay.
Let's have a look at the start then. We'll clear up who might hit and who might not in a couple of moments. Great start by Lando Norris. Piastri, meanwhile, has got his hands full defending with Isaac Hadjar.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's all going on at the back. So, yeah, and that was Piastri then hanging on the outside. That was so crucial for his day. And as the pack are coming up now to the pit entry, we know that Lewis Hamilton will be taking that.
Cheers,
Let's have a look at Lewis Hamilton's start now. It has not been without incident for Lewis Hamilton. So he gets tucked up behind the Aston Martin. There's the first contact. That was Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton losing places. Now through the curve of the Sol we go. He's got the Alpine ahead of him. Gabriel Bortoletto moving past him too.
So with you tagging me, does that like actually make me go live? Does it show right now?
I'm pretty positive it lets us. It should let people click
on me.
I don't think he knew he was there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And this is Lewis, coming on to the pit straight, just went to duck underneath.
I think if we pull it up
comes back and swings underneath now.
Are you on?
Hey Jesse.
Is this YouTube or Twitch?
This is YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Just a little
let's pull it up on your computer because it's not gonna say it on
the phone.
He has, but when he passed me in the pit lane,
on your phone.
Yeah.
So the complicated guide veins going into the floor section.
YouTube.
He will be slower than a slow thing. There's so much damage to the floor of Lewis's Ferrari. Cheers, thanks very much, Ted.
Ooh, we will be going through there.
But this bits of debris down
Because
there.
it does that on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're on Twitch, it lets you do that. I don't know why it doesn't do it on
the
YouTube.
motorway, that is, where the chances of picking up coaches, I can understand why they took
dude.
them through there, but that is a very unused piece of little...
You what?
I said I didn't know my connection was that good in here.
So they look like they're clearing the car.
Well,
Usually I have to turn off the Roku to get my bit rate.
I'm also looking into investing in the Meta glasses because apparently you can't live stream from Meta glasses.
Yeah. How much are those running at? That's somebody
It's
else.
like 350, 400.
Yeah, but you can
And I'm
still
gonna.
get your prescription on them too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wait.
it's the same price as
Yeah.
regular glasses.
And all I gotta do is like charge it when I wanna live stream, but I'm pretty sure the battery's pretty good on it.
Yeah.
If it was just stationary for 18 and a half seconds, look, he had a bit of the front wing actually stuck under the car as well.
Yeah, but the Lewis was pointing out there'll be a lot of other damage there with that.
Yeah, charge it at night. Use it after work.
Yeah.
Like,
And the front edges of the
No.
aerodynamics.
I don't have to carry. Well, I mean, I'm
Do
always.
they have camera covers on them? Like you can.
The cost Lewis Hamilton.
But like, I have seen people streaming from them, and plus I
Oh
always.
yeah.
I've always wanted a reason to wear glasses.
Yeah. I follow this iPhone repair guy.
When you're diving around like that, there's a very high risk. It's such a short run round to this
That's
first corner.
enjoyable.
Unfortunate sort of start. As I pointed out, it's just a couple of hundred meters to the first braking point, and so the pack will always be incredibly tight.
Pierre Gasly started ninth, still running ninth behind
Come
the
on,
safety
yeah.
car here at Interlagos. This was the view that he has, and trying to keep out of the way, keeping up very well indeed. The cars around him, and George Russell suddenly is the car just ahead of him, and he can go wheel to wheel.
No, you're
with that Mercedes.
I did that on purpose.
Repack it.
Right in the middle of the track, maybe where he didn't want him, and that allows George Russell to come back at him.
Just as well for George, because the rest of the opening lap didn't go all that well. This was a good rotate down into the first corner.
Let me grab my set.
For PH.
So we're still behind
Glad
the
my
safety car here. Gabriel Bortoletto will climb into
Bortoletto.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the green one. This is
Right.
Like,
They look pretty similar.
really to forget for the Paulista, but I'm sure there will be many, many more to come in his Formula One career. And I dare say take
You pack, you
much
press
more
down.
success in the future too.
Yes, but why?
Crofty Paul Gabby Bortoletto, yeah,
Firm yet gentle.
Just okay. And down
Or just use the little, on the end of the wire, that little, steel bump. You can use that.
Understood?
I'll have a little, on the end of my little wire thing, it has a little, on the very end, bottom, it has a little
He started on the hard tyres, got onto the medium, which is probably going to end up as the favourite tyre. So
Use
I
that
think
to
the whole race on the medium now,
press
although not
kind of
impossible,
lightly
but
after.
on quicker tyre now. So keep up an eye out for him, how that plays out for him later.
And the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap in a few moments' time.
Yeah, and this is the track then where you want to start that either right now and catch everybody off guard, or you take them pretty much all the way to the line. You don't want to be giving them all a massive slipstream down to the first corner, but if Lewis is missing that much downforce, I wouldn't be at all surprised they don't park that Ferrari, save the mileage on the motor, and live for another day.
He left too late yesterday with a safety car restart, with a rolling start, did Lando Norris, and he's left it a bit late today as well, but perfect timing for him as he gets the jump, and away he goes, and Kimi Antonelli is being swamped by other cars, and on the inside...
Whoa! Oh shit!
What are we doing?
Piastri dove. Oh, there's somebody else's tire. It's in the corner.
Oh!
There goes Charles.
Whoa!
Isaac. Here come the almost in Toro Rosso's RB's coming in.
Ferocious. Leclerc,
Here comes Max at 13.
like a polo min running down the racetrack.
Jeez, look at him
Leclerc will
hunting
have
people
another
down, man.
safety car. He's on the
Frickin'
back
shark.
straight down towards turn 4. Can't get any further. Piastri. Then the stewards will be looking hard at Piastri's contact there.
I'm sure they will. He locked up, went into Antonelli, went into Leclerc. Front left suspension is broken. That's the end of his race. And we are still racing. DRS has been enabled. I'm sure Charles Leclerc is trying to park as best he can away from the racetrack. Lando Norris leads from his teammate. 1.2 seconds that the gap between them. Max Verstappen down in 13th, as you can see on your screen. And it's all happening in the opening stages here at Interlagos.
So Leclerc's out of the car. The car is showing is just down at the end of this next straight, but clearly there's no virtual safety car because they've got to slow them down before they get. But Leclerc's car is then into a service area, so they've just got that out of the way, and then they will release that virtual safety car almost immediately.
Now, is there damage? Certainly to the Ferrari, but on the Mercedes of Antonelli. Is there damage on the McLaren of Oscar Piastri? And what are the stewards going to say about this? They were 3 abreast going into turn 1. Now comes the lockup. Now it's tyre to tyre, so you wouldn't imagine damage on Piastri. And, well, Charles Leclerc, just the innocent bystander there. And his race over.
Yeah, they'll be looking to see. So basically, Lando floored it, and it caught Antonelli slightly off guard, that left him under a lot of attack. Piastri will say he didn't give me any space. I was at the inside, but he did lock up. He didn't keep full control of his car. That's what the stewards will be looking at. But we'll let them worry about that. So Charles then minding his own business, right around the outside. That's just horrible misfortune.
A second DNF in the last 7 Grand Prix for Charles Leclerc.
Artist, architecture guy reached out with this message saying, you know, you've been following me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, follow this other account that I have. And I was like, even if this is an automated message, thank you. And they like responded.
Up to P13 already now.
Their stuff is so cool.
And retirements too. They're racing again. Virtual safety car.
Just the angles
I think has ended. Not quite sure.
And this is why we live in the
And
world.
this is coming back
Yeah.
on the outside, so
We have zero appreciation
They came past our commentary
for
box,
art.
Max Verstappen's pitted. He's got rid of the hard tyres, so he's had about a lap on the hard tyres and decided no, they are not the ones that we should be running here. So we'll lose 11 seconds.
Picked up a front right puncture, Max. That was a reason for the box.
Ah, there you go. So he had to box because he had a puncture there. So you lose 11 seconds.
Did you see that?
Hitting
The
behind the virtual
loose,
safety car 22.
security
in normal play.
system
yeah,
password was
so that's putting them at the back of the pack again though, so that wasn't ideal.
when they hacked into it to break in. It was actually that stupid.
I think that's the moment.
It's like you just try it and you're like, oh, that worked.
I think this is the time where you realize, like, hey, we got it bad,
Yeah.
but you guys got it pretty bad too.
People are dumb, roll one.
That was actually challenging for 12, and yeah,
Like-
making use of that hard time.
How hard is it to do a complicated puzzle?
I don't know. Who's gonna generate it? Especially
Not
you're
quite
securing
yet now, yes.
buildings
As we
and
head down the main straight,
Surely
and
a
they're still
security
pushing that
firm.
Ferrari
Surely a
away
security
and
firm
behind the
handles
barriers.
it.
Lando
Maybe they were like,
Norris from his
maybe they were
team.
thinking nobody would just like ever steal anything from Lou. And it's like, it's like, you know, there's always just that 1% chance for the person
Yeah.
that, you know.
There's literally a Netflix show about somebody stealing from the Louvre and then it happened.
Under pressure here as Albon and Gasly scrap away in the battle for 8th place, and Ocon now pits Gasly, staying ahead of Albon, but that's very close on the track.
So this has brought Piastri right into play, hasn't it? Because he was so close to the back of Norris on the restart. I thought he was thinking about having a run into turn 1 on him with the slipstream. But Norris saw that and covered it off.
Well, that's good news for Kimi Antonelli, that they think the car is fine. There was a bit of body work came off, but structurally it's okay. Now he's got to recover, and he's down in 3rd place.
So what they can see from the suspension loads and other aerodynamic
not
information
tonight.
they're getting from all the sensors
I
on the
need
car,
to,
the loads
I need to plan
look
it,
normal.
like, whenever I do
It's
it.
showing normal downforce, and the car's ride height is correct, and therefore it's 4 square and mostly got its pits intact.
That's a very good middle sector for Lando Norris on lap 9, and he's got out of DRS range of his teammate Oscar Piastri by the time they got into the DRS zone there, and he'll need to just build that little buffer lap by lap. The race control have noted Tsunoda and Stroll for causing a collision. I think they're probably wading their way through all the incidents from the first few laps. We'll see
started
if
watching,
Oscar Piastri gets noted and then
The Great.
investigated as well, but we'll keep tabs on that, let you know as and when it happens.
Show on
Verstappen
Hulu.
down in 16th and on the tail on the charge, trying to get towards Lewis Hamilton. There's a gap of about
About
5
Catherine
seconds
the Great?
currently.
Yeah, Norris was 9/10 quicker than Piastri on that previous lap. It's working out well for the Williams team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Both cars in the points, 9th and 10th at the moment.
Notice if I had the
they
right
navigated
Instagram open,
the
what I
chaos.
can do, yeah,
Even involved in the
something like
chaos was Carlos Sainz at one point,
fairly
but it's
easy.
played
So
out
it's
well
just
for
like
them.
jumping
Alex
over
Albon
as
will be
well.
just thankful, Martin, that he reached the first corner and continued on his way. He hadn't done it at either of the last 2 Grand Prix here in Interlagos, one of which he didn't take part in, the other which he tangled with Kevin Magnussen. George Russell's got a recovery drive on his hands. He's down in 5th at the moment, and had lost places on that opening lap. He's now behind Isaac Hadjar in the Racing Bulls.
What they've got to do with Oscar Piastri now is get him more than 10 seconds ahead of whoever's chasing, in case he gets a 10-second penalty for that restart contact. And yeah, Norris then just holding that at 1.5 seconds. He must keep him out of DRS range for his own race and look after his tyres a bit. It's going to be a very long afternoon.
Lewis Hamilton is giving it absolutely everything. Down in 15th place. I'm just watching him and Franco Colapinto at the moment, trying to get past the Alpine. Nothing doing on this lap, and race control have noted Oscar Piastri for causing a collision. We are on board now with Antonelli's teammate George Russell going through the middle sector. Russell behind Isaac Hadjar. Only failed to score in 1 Grand Prix this season, and that was Monaco, the only race where he started outside the top 6 as well.
Verstappen absolutely flying. He'll be on the back of Hamilton any moment now. He's 3/4 of a second faster than the race leader last time around.
Is this the start of a Max Verstappen Sunday special as George Russell finds no way through into turn 1 and has to stay in 5th place? Norris bit by bit eking out a bigger gap out in front over Piastri. Antonelli on the soft tyre, Hadjar on the soft tyre, Russell coming through on the mediums, going wheel to wheel with Hadjar down towards the Cedar de Largo turn 4, and George Russell is up into P4.
Important move there early on for George Russell. If he's got the speed, he can get after his teammate Antonelli.
When did you say Max Verstappen was going to be on the tail of Lewis Hamilton?
Anytime about now, yeah. I mean, Lewis is struggling in the 1 minute 15s. 16-0 for Lewis last time around in traffic. But this is where Max will start losing the look how much that Ferrari is sliding around. He's clearly lost huge amounts of downforce, Lewis Hamilton. You can even notice it when under safety car conditions when he was catching the pack up.
And Max Verstappen, meanwhile, has set-up changes after they took his car out of park firming and a brand new power unit as well. That will really help him.
Yuki Tsunoda with the penalty?
Up toward the line, his teammate Yuki Tsunoda has a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision.
Are you telling me he performed a small sacrifice over Max Oh, whoops.
Exactly
Whoops, where's FIA? Hey, FIA. You want to talk about it?
Wasn't enough, or?
Makes a move on Lewis Hamilton. He's done that before, and that was for the lead of the race here in Interlagos. This time around, it's for 15th.
Yeah,
Now he's got Franco.
that would be one of the easier to see. Max still lost 1.8 seconds compared to his previous lap, just navigating the traffic. That's the problem he's got, getting through the pack, unless there's another incident of some kind. But you wouldn't count Verstappen out yet, certainly for a top 6 and even a podium.
The plus side, of course, is that Verstappen has pitted.
Yeah.
And if it is a 2-stop race, well, we'll find that out as the race goes on. He's already got 1 pit stop in the bank, and at the moment he's only 15 seconds behind the race leader, who is Lando Norris, who is now 2 seconds clear of his teammate. This is Yuki Tsunoda, who has a 10-second penalty for causing a collision.
That'll do it.
Spun around the Aston Martin of Lawrence Stroll.
He wrecked the wrong people, though. If that was Stroll. Fucking Colapinto and Stroll.
No, but he was avoiding, wasn't he? They caught him out. They were braking earlier than he expected as he came over the top of the hill as Max Verstappen now then back into 14th place.
Yeah, that's Colapinto that he's now got past. So 1 more place, and that's his teammate Yuki Tsunoda just up ahead, and he's back to where he was when he pitted. So a lot of cars here running very close to each other. Meanwhile, Alex Albon in the Williams, his teammate Carlos Sainz has been noted. There's Sainz for causing a collision right at the start when he tagged Lewis Hamilton into turn 1. Often turn 1 incidents are viewed certainly very differently on lap 1 than other incidents, but we'll see if that gets past to the stewards.
And the undercut here is about 2.5 seconds because you get so much more speed with a fresh set of tyres. So it's the kind of advantage.
Hey, I'm gonna crash out there. I'll keep trying. Car's crazy unstable.
The trouble is, here in Interlagos, Martin, with a red flag in each of the last 2 years, you keep going because you're never quite sure if a red flag is going to come out. And then
So like already be struggling to keep the car on the road.
Putting a floor on it though is a big ask under it in the pit lane. But anyway, yes, you're right. Anyway, you've got to be in it. And
new design on the cars
to retire the car.
I thought they were pretty.
I hope not. You don't want to see Lewis Hamilton's day ended early. No, he's pitted for medium compound tyres. He's back out into the race. Verstappen's past Tsunoda and up to 13, 2.2 seconds. The gap out in front, down to 10.
I think Ferrari's thinking there was, look, let's take him
Strategy.
off.
It's terrible.
Let's give him a stickier tyre. The oversteering all over the place. Lewis felt it just wasn't safe, so it's the last thing they can do, really. They don't want to retire him. Lewis doesn't want to retire at this point from the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, so this is the last choice they've got. See how it goes.
Indeed, the trouble is whatever tyre you put on, if you're sliding around that much, you wreck the tyres pretty quickly, but they're still, full respect, they're still out there giving it a try, but it's going to be the longest 46 laps of his life, I think, for Lewis Hamilton this afternoon.
Who has been
Yeah,
noticed
that's what I was
causing
saying.
a
It's gonna be a
collision
long
when
answer.
he clipped Franco Colapinto on the main straights. That is yet to be passed to the stewards. We're on lap 16 of
Nico
71. And Oscar Piastri is now under investigation by the stewards for causing a collision. Max Verstappen, we can watch in the Red Bull, is right on the tail of Nico Hülkenberg. And now DRS heading down the Retta Aposta in the battle for 12.
Max had to correct a massive slide in turn 3. Obviously, he's cleared his teammate Yuki Tsunoda in a hurry, but he really had to scoop that Red Bull up in turn 3. And that's the traffic ahead of him. But yeah, I think Max is in. Max is in for a spectacular afternoon.
Oscar Piastri has a 10-second penalty for causing a collision, which I'm not overly surprised about.
And what will he be? I think he might be quite relieved it's not anything.
He's the one that caused it. He's the one that caused the Charles to be done. 10 seconds.
One driver out,
that's-
for example.
That's a big one.
But anyway,
That's huge.
That's the
Especially in
standard penalty. No mitigating circumstances. I'm not surprised, but so McLaren's job now is to get in 10 seconds clear, and he's 1.9 clear.
Put both Mercedes on the podium.
Gave him a lovely track position, but it's now given him quite a headache.
And I think that's the thing, Martin. He needed, as Max Verstappen goes down the inside on Nico Hülkenberg. And there's another move. There's a few more of those coming this afternoon. I can just feel it. He's up now into with Piastri, he had to take the opportunity, any opportunity coming his way, and that 10 seconds can be offset by how much he would have lost to the championship leader had he stayed down in 4th place.
He's got to go down the inside. There was a gap there.
He's just so fast.
He's different. Yeah.
He's just
like wide,
he's a different human being, bro.
Yeah.
This man loves
there's no doubt about
driving
like the penalties.
Like a weirdo.
The thing is, though,
Unhealthy amount.
To his next pit stop, or his first pit stop. He's
in shape.
I know.
1:15.1.
There's Max driver cam for us.
Hammer time for him. No further investigation. Sights on Lewis Hamilton. Let's have a look then at Max Verstappen trying to get into 11th place.
Oh, there he goes.
Fernando Alonso. This is going to be an easy
And
pass.
Fernando has DRS too.
New engine in that Red Bull. The crowd going absolutely wild as Max Verstappen
Turns out a new engine helps.
up into now 9th place because pitting Ollie Behrman and Carlos Sainz.
A new power unit and a different setup, and it looks like a different race car, doesn't it, to the one he struggled with, the 16th on the grid.
You rather get the feeling he's going to be enjoying everything that's coming his way if the car keeps behaving like this. And he's got rid of the hard tyre as well behind the safety car, and it's looking a lot better for him.
Yeah, the problem is he's 18 seconds off. That's nearly a pit stop off the lead. So this is what's costing Max. Is getting the 2 safety cars helped him enormously. But as you point out, he's already made one of his pit stops. So Max is in great shape there.
Let's just see why Oscar Piastri got the 10-second penalty. The opportunity was there. Kimi Antonelli trying to defend. And then the concertina effect. It was like
crazy. Kimi didn't really take that much
ran into
damage.
Antonelli, ran into
Even
a
though he got
skittling and scuttling off towards the right-hand side, in Leclerc's case, off and out of the race.
Yeah, given that opportunity 20 more times, Piastri would do the same thing 20 times. There was a gap, wasn't there? There was a gap on the inside. He probably wishes he'd have come off the brakes a little bit and actually claimed the whole corner and sorted it out a little bit later on.
Verstappen's now up to 7th.
Right, gaining
coming into the pits. Soft tyres starting to go off just a little bit. Now in front, Lando Norris very much enjoying himself. He's now got a nearly 4-second advantage. Karoo, let's head to you.
Yeah, Crofty, Max Verstappen came on the radio a couple of laps ago saying, by the way, that hard tyre was not good. I'm much happier on this medium. So that's information for everybody else. George Russell, by the way, started on a used set of mediums. That's because, if you think back to yesterday, he used mediums in Q3. So his tyres are a bit used. He's got a flat spot and a vibration, not particularly happy, so expect a stop then.
Just looking at Lewis Hamilton's lap times, he did a 1:14.7, the same. I know he's got much fresher tyres, but the same as Norris out front. So he's down in 17th of 18 runners is Lewis, but it seems as if he has a little bit of extra grip on those tyres. Maybe they were able to check something out and move something else out on the aerodynamics as well.
And just to go back to George Russell, Martin, he hasn't got a new set of tyres apart from the hard tyre to use in this race. And if Max is right, the hard tyre is not the one to be used today. That's going to give him a bit of a disadvantage too, as Lawson now pits. The soft tyre definitely not holding up as well as the teams might have liked in these early stages.
Verstappen now in the top 6.
And he was, after lap 12, 16th.
Yeah, he's steaming through, and he's got the advantage in this midfield to they're front runners now, aren't they? Until he gets up to Russell next after Albon. It's not. Alex Albon will not want to waste a lot of tyre life and lap time fighting the impossible with Max Verstappen. So until Max gets up to Russell and Antonelli, then I suspect.
And from our side, we think it's more like Plan B, possibly even Plan D.
I haven't heard Plan D for quite some time.
Soft tyres towards the end, because the hard tyres, the early signs are the hard tyres, although
Weather's.
it's still.
I want to look at the weather in Sao Paulo. See if
Oh,
rain.
have people been pitting?
Albon's not defending. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right,
no,
Martin.
it's
Into turn 1, Max Verstappen is up into the top 5. Here comes Nico Hulkenberg on Fernando Alonso, two very experienced drivers. Alonso knew that he wasn't going to fight that one.
I can't believe
And
Hulkenberg got
up
podium
into
this year.
8th place, turn 1, giving us lots of overtaking. Once again, Pierre Gasly is on the charge behind Isaac Hadjar, but he's just a bit too far back into that first corner to make the move.
I think
No rain
It's a
expected
two-stopper
today in
because they're
Sao
now
Paulo.
realising that they can't go onto the
It
hard
doesn't look
side, so
like
that
that.
really counts out a one-stopper for this afternoon.
We have a 10-second penalty for the safety car restart turn 1. Best opportunity is Plan C, and you need to get to target that with good pace. If your pace looks good, we can still make this work.
And that might be extend,
Yeah.
and go to a one-stop, which would have been Plan B, but Plan C is by adding a few more laps to your first stint.
I started to talk about the undercut time, 2.5 seconds. Come in the lap
So
before
cool,
your
you just get to
arrival.
hang out by
You're
the
getting
headphones.
2.5 seconds on fresh tyres.
Do you think
Norris has now got a
they'll
4.5
replace
second lead
Charles
as
Leclerc
Kimi
with
Antonelli
Ollie
comes
Behrman?
in to get rid of those soft tyres and onto medium brandish.
No.
They'll be very happy.
I don't know. I just feel like they've dug themselves in. Now that Carlos is left, like we chose Charles.
This was the big
I don't know. I just feel like it would take a lot from them to like give up on the Charles project because they got rid of. If anything, I feel like Carlos would come out before Holiday.
Was so close, they just end up right at the back, wouldn't they?
I mean,
the two
And
hard side runners, Alonso and Stroll, going long. Here's
who's
Gasly
leading
down the
between them
inside.
two?
Gasly on
Lewis
Esteban
or
Ocon,
Charles?
and he's up into 14th place, having
in
pitted a
points
few laps
wise,
ago. Ocon will try to fight this for as long as he possibly can. But already Gasly is just scampering away to former teammates swapping places. Let's head to our third teammate, the commentary box, Corincha.
Oh, very good, Coffee. Just keep an eye on Max Verstappen's pace, 48 last time round.
Yeah.
That compares
Charles
with
was
Lando
210,
Norris'
Lewis was
47, so
146.
pretty similar pace, which
But I mean,
But this is
a lot
Lewis's
of that
first
is
year.
based on the team's decisions too.
he had no pace in
Well, I
qualifying,
mean,
so that
dude,
was working
there-
well
it-
for
it-
Verstappen. At the moment,
here's.
The team did
I need to mute this and
for
That
him.
is rich.
Exactly.
Rich.
Closing in on Franco Colapinto up into 9th place. Easy pass for him. 9 laps he's been on those medium tyres, 26 laps for Franco Colapinto, who has yet to stop in this race. A race which Nico Hulkenberg is currently running in 6th place, but he hasn't pitted yet either. In fact, those that haven't pitted, Norris, Piastri and Russell, Albon for Williams, then Alonso, Hulkenberg.
I just had dinner
Colapinto
with family.
and Stroll, the other one, running the hard tyre at the moment along with his teammates. This is why George Russell, 30 laps for his medium. I know we're only on lap 27, as Kareem pointed out, there were used tyres that he used in qualifying. So he thought the mediums were a better tyre, they probably were for him at that moment. Here's Pierre Gasly, and we can see how he got past Isaac Hadjar. I'll tell you what, that was, well, two close French compatriots, and that was very close on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Isaac Hadjar getting past Gasly a bit later on.
Yeah, you can't make a late change like that when a driver's in striking range. It's just, especially there at a couple hundred miles an hour, it's too dangerous.
Good point. The pace for Lando Norris out in front is pretty phenomenal at the moment. Oscar Piastri might be managing a little bit and trying to extend his stint, but it's now 6 seconds the gap.
So McLaren will be watching Antonelli down in 7th on his fresh tyres. He's second a lap faster, 27 seconds behind, with a 22-second pit stop. So if Antonelli keeps on at this pace, as he's looking for space, he's got a couple of cars to get through, and then he'll have some fresh air in front of him, and he might that'll catch McLaren's attention if Antonelli could clear
Listen
that
to going through Comedy Bang Bang episodes on Spotify, and they have new comments. You can comment on the episodes, and somebody responded, I've been going through the episodes too, and I've noticed I keep seeing your comments. I feel like you're also over there in the future.
Yeah, it's not going to make much of a difference to his race.
Hamburger stew, which is a goofy saying from the show, but just like, oh shit.
Up into 6th, and we can go to Giroud.
Yeah, thanks, Alfie. Antonelli, you're looking at here, is in that back, but his teammate, George Russell, is starting to get close to an undercut threat from Ollie Behrman. Now, Behrman pitted 11 laps to go. 11 laps to go. And he's now 19 seconds behind Russell. He's been steadily closing that gap down. The pit stop time here is 21 seconds. Obviously, there'll be a tyre offset, but Mercedes need to be careful that they don't get undercut here, but Ollie Behrman's has.
Yeah, they're going to ask George Russell to get at least one overtake done when he finally does hit. Fortunately, on this track, overtaking today seems to be fairly, well, a lot easier, shall we say. And I think there's a bit of a headwind going into turn 1, which will definitely help, and some tyre offsets, which are giving us a lot of action.
Yeah, and when you've got better tyres coming out of this corner, gives you much better traction. So with the slipstream, with the DRS open, better speed coming off the corner, it puts you right on the tail of your rival, as Antonelli is about to do. And then, that is why you're seeing a lot of overtaking. It's as much about the exit of turn 12 as it is the entry of turn 1.
There was Kimi Antonelli on Alex Albon. Fernando Alonso had pitted, his teammate Lance Stroll's now pitted, Colapinto is into the pits too, Liam Lawson is up close to Pierre Gasly closely, and we can head down to 10 with Max Verstappen now just 7.2 seconds difference between himself and Kimi Antonelli.
Where I can see McLaren drivers, the pit crew are coming out, so my guess is that this is going to be for Lando Norris. It's the soft tyre that's coming out, as it would be Team Radio.
It is box for Lando Norris, Ted.
Because the whole thing is that something happened, Rocky. You come in if there has.
I thought Lando Norris was a bit close to the wall there, coming into the pit lane. That was very aggressive.
Okay, so the whole thing about Oscar Piastri, and that's a decent stop, so no problems, I think, as you've been able to see from Lando's stop there. The whole thing with the Piastri, as you've been saying, is they need to extend as much as possible, and then make sure he's on those soft tyres for the fewest amount of laps possible at the end to make up the distance from the 5-second penalty. By the way, Crofty, I had asked McLaren what was their view on the Oscar penalty, and their response, well, it's one of those penalties that you can see both ways. Surely in the cockpit, Oscar is thinking, will be thinking, you know, well,
You can see both ways. I mean, they know they're
that
wrong.
was a racing incident. But yeah, I know you've got your view up there though as well.
So this is interesting. That
It said Verstappen already pitted.
Effectively, Norris.
He switched from hards to mediums earlier.
And we'll have to overtake him on those fresh soft tyres. And then they're even Stevens on pit stop. So it just reminds you how much.
So I'm guessing he's gonna have to do another one.
Piastri takes
Yeah.
his pit stop. He will end up
I think just
with
one.
a 10-second penalty. He'll end up behind the likes of Ollie Behrman.
He certainly will. I think this is McLaren going onto the softs with Norris, Karim, almost guaranteeing themselves a two-stop strategy here, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, 40 laps on
Come
the
on,
set of
Via.
soft tyres is a long, long way to go. So I agree. I think it's another stop. So it's a straight race now, isn't it? Verstappen ahead of Norris. Verstappen's tyres are 23 laps old. You expect Norris to get past, but they both have one stop to go, and this is now a straight fight between Red Bull for Max Verstappen, 23 lap old tyres, and used soft tyres for Norris, both with one stop to go, is what I'm
Max
thinking.
is just a
Lando
wonder.
Norris pitting on lap 30 of
Yeah.
this race. That means he's led 100 consecutive Grand Prix laps prior to that pit stop. Useless stat, but I'm sure he's very proud of his efforts, and so he should be. He has got a bit of DRS coming his way. If he can keep within 1 second of Max Verstappen, that'll help him to try and get an overtake done. Here's Nico Hulkenberg without the aid of DRS, trying to put some pressure on Alex Albon. Through Ferragura we go. And is there an opportunity? Maybe Pico de Pato, turn 10, has to do a little dive down the inside. That's where Lando Norris and Max Verstappen find themselves currently. And look how much he has caught up the Red Bull, the man who was leading this race, on just 2/3 of a lap. He'll get brilliant traction on fresher tyres out of Junsao, and you can see how that Red Bull is getting ever closer, ever closer, ever closer in front of Lando Norris, who pulls to the right-hand side. Max can't defend that one, and Lando Norris back up into the top 3.
Yeah, full respect to Max, not playing any games there at all. And his pace has just started to fade away a little bit at Max Verstappen's, as if, as Corinne said, we're quite on now those tyres. So he just started to lose a little bit of purchase, a little bit of grip.
I think for his race now, for Oscar Piastri, maybe his championship chances too, Martin, because he needs, I think, a big Grand Prix here today. He's got to start banging in some better pace. Now he's got free air, and he hasn't got Lando Norris causing a bit of turbulence in front of him. He's got to start to show lap times, you know, under 1 minute 15s. I would imagine.
I'll tell you, when I was streaming the other day, doing chess, actually had a couple of, guess they're definitely better than me watching it, and person was like trying to get me to play bullet chess, which I played blitz, which is like 3 minute, 5 minute, like I consider fairly quick, you know, on the clock.
Okay.
And he's like, bro, this is so slow. I play hyper bullet, which means like bullet is 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock. Or hyper bullet is like 30 seconds on the clock. That's your total game for the whole game. So you just gotta be like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, bro, you're going so slow, Unk. And he was calling me Unk, and then like trying to get me to change the settings, and because I wasn't paying attention to chat, he was like, calling me out like I was old.
Damn.
And then came on and we challenged me and just absolutely spanked me. And,
What? Did you play by his rules?
I got him to play like the 3 minute chess, and then actually got him to play and was watching him play. Because that's a way on chess.com we can do that. And he was like, you need to sign and play against this coach, you know, with these settings to get better at that. I appreciate the lessons, but it's like maybe not want to play for a little bit. We're just getting talked down.
What's the timer on an actual competitive?
So, like a regulation classical match is an hour and 30 minutes.
An hour and 30?
That's super boring and long. There's 10-minute rapid, there's 30-minute rapid. So
what does the number one chess player do?
In newer tournaments, they've kind of done like, they've recognized that people are more into quicker chess, and so they usually have done like different legs. Like you do one match classical, one match blitz, one match, you know. So you kind of, because it's totally different. When you have time to think, you can actually strategize on the moves. When it's bullet, like you just kind of like just get out there and play, and there's no. I mean,
like,
they can still. Some people can really compute that at that level. I can't.
I mean, like,
Not right now.
I can, but like, I mean, most wars are not won in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more people younger prefer the hyperbole and stuff. And I was like, I'm still learning chess, so like, I made super dumb mistakes at that speed. And I still need like some time to think. And so he would like root me on with it, and just be like, oh, come on, you're better than that. And I'm like, I can't. I'm trying to go fast, but also I'm making mistakes all the time.
After 34 laps on the mediums, he's gone on to the soft tyre. One would imagine that then is another
It was a fun experience. I got a GeoGuessr subscription now, and I've been into GeoGuessr because I'm like, use my knowledge of maps and some languages to good use, and I'm kind of obsessed with that game now.
I don't know the answer to that, but Max is doing an amazing job. We got a little bit unlucky on the first set. We got a slot puncture and had to be quite early, but he's doing an amazing job on that first tip on the medium, and now we've just put in and let's see. It's still unclear whether or not people will be able to go to the end or whether or not there will be another stop, but it will be an interesting battle.
Was it the power unit change or the aerodynamics that's brought the car alive long?
Obviously a new power unit always helps, and it's obvious to say that we are not happy with the changes we made for quality, so we came back to something that we felt the car would be happier with, and that seems to be the case.
I love the way, Lauren, you say that it's still unclear as to how the tyres are going to go. We're beyond a half race distance now. That's quite a rarity in modern day Formula One. Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, you're right. It is actually, but as you said, it's great for the fan to have so many options. I mean, you have seen it from the start of the race onwards. You know, there was an equal split of people on soft, hard, or medium. So it's nice when there is many strategic options on the table, and you probably have to wait until the very last time to know
Just very quickly, what happened with Yuki Tsunoda's pit stop to get another penalty?
We think it's our mistake, and we touched the car earlier than what we should have done.
Thanks, Lauren. Appreciate you coming on. And we're on board now with Max Verstappen down the inside at Pico de Pato. Not quite close enough to Pierre Gasly in the Alpine to make the move, but he is desperately hunting for more places. Oscar Piastri's just told, if we pick, you'll be behind 3 cars in the DRS trade. Are you happy with that? His reply, no. As he is coming in to now Ferratura, the horseshoe. He's leading this race, has yet to pit. He's the only driver out there who hasn't pitted yet. Verstappen has just made that move. And he's got a 10-second penalty, Oscar Piastri, to serve when he does pit. They're going for that one stopper at McLaren.
Max's car and Max just look totally alive, don't they? They're just on it. They're like he's Formula 1.5 today. Really going for it. So it's interesting that Oscar doesn't feel confident.
Box to retire the car.
Oh man, dude,
It's
I
my
just
second time penalty. There's Alex Albon on the inside. Franco Colapinto.
And here's Charles Leclerc wreck.
Oscar Piastri is coming into the pits. Hamilton is going to retire from this Sao Paulo Grand Prix, and it's the first time at Interlagos since 2012 that he's retired. So no one can now stop and touch the car.
Blow some cold air at it, obviously.
But you can't touch it for 10 seconds. Now you can get going when someone shouts go. That person will have the stopwatch. And it is soft tyres for Oscar Piastri. Now, that's a surprise. They obviously feel the hard's just not the tyre for today.
He wasn't particularly up for it, was he, the hard compound tyre? So, but he should be able to march on and pass some cars now. With that car, his talent, and those tyres.
Yeah, now he is going to be coming out behind Liam Lawson, so it's just one Racing Bulls and an Alpine, and then they're going to get Max Verstappen. Sainz is also pitted, as you can see, for Williams. So penalty served. Everyone has now been into the pits, and the order is this: Lando Norris back out in front. Antonelli, who was on the front row with him, is in second. George Russell up to third. Ollie Behrman running fourth. And another super race for Ollie Behrman. Max Verstappen charging though is currently fifth. Lewis Hamilton sadly out of this race. Ted, down to you.
Yeah, so Carlos Sainz comes in. He's been living with that front wing end plate damage the whole race, hasn't he, probably?
Yeah.
From early on. So he did pass me, minus the front wing end plate.
Zach Brown does have a good philosophy.
I know the entrance to pit lane is quite
It's
hard.
literally just like, no, if you want this driver championship, you're gonna drive. Like,
Very good point.
they're like, we got the constructors, but that's what we wanted. Y'all two figure it out amongst yourselves.
Of that top five currently, and where Piastri might
The good news is that, you know, you and I take turns on drivers' championships. You know,
We haven't driven in a while though, so I don't know if we can even say that
it's
anymore.
just, dude, the amount of time that we gotta play on that game is like
Of
super.
course, the road's going down, as I mentioned.
I really love like all the
But,
practice.
he
I
can
love
definitely
all the
bring himself back into play
practicing.
for a podium.
Ugh,
We are without doubt in a race with Russell and Piastri.
nothing beats you. Whenever you and I were
to Max Verstappen.
playing a lot.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me in the slightest, that particular one currently. We're on board now with Oscar Piastri, who's quickly caught up to the back of Liam Lawson. That's how it stands in the championship. At the moment he's only scoring 6 points, his teammate 25 points. That would be 28 points difference and more than a win for Lando Norris if it stays this way.
Oscar will be frustrated. He's effectively had to spend another lap behind the Racing Bull. He'll get that sorted out now. But yeah, he's really got to get past these cars super fast.
Like that, up into sixth place goes Oscar Piastri past Liam Lawson, and while they disappear down the hill through the centre S's, climbing up the hill is Nico Hülkenberg on Fernando Alonso. And Alonso will hold on to that final points position for the time being as Hülkenberg moves up into ninth. His teammate Gabriel Bortoleto out at the start after a tangle with the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Charles Leclerc got hit by Antonelli, who got hit by Piastri into turn one. That's what cost him in this race. Lewis Hamilton picking up a lot of damage at the start as he tangled with various drivers.
Norris not particularly fast out front, and he's obviously babysitting those soft tyres quite a lot because at the moment Russell and Verstappen in third and fifth were significantly faster last time around. Ted.
Just amongst, right, just amongst all of those.
Did you see this happen in this chess match?
This Grand Prix, got out of the car. He's just gone to the back of the garage.
It's like a big celebration in the chess world. Like, alright, you're the king out into the crowd.
The pit wall in front of me, they're just while the mechanics pack up. But
Then the referee was like, hey, bring me that king back.
A weekend for Lewis Hamilton. You know, he came here so full of confidence. He loves this place. He loves the reception. He feels like he belongs.
I wonder if a lot of them get hyped
How ironic,
whenever they win.
Only 3
Yeah.
people
Big tournament.
from this race.
I would think so.
Citizens. Yeah. Gabriel Bortoleto and of course Lewis Hamilton. who is has got been awarded Brazilian citizenship.
Absolutely, it's a fair point. A Ferrari, a third pointless Grand Prix this season. That's the most they've had since 2020.
Norris is not fast enough.
Alright, I think I'm gonna make one more martini. You sure you don't want one?
Pit stop.
Okay, bro, I appreciate it.
Pit stop window, 20.4 seconds behind.
Gotta be
Another second and that faster as well. So, Lando Norris, maybe he's trying to babysit those to the end of the Grand Prix.
What's the plan here? Okay, use your pace. We're trying to catch and undercut there, and the Russell. Stuff will help you with that.
As into the pits comes Ollie Bear. So
They still playing in.
Piastri moved past him. Verstappen moves past him. And we'll see now where Liam Lawson is in. They've got Lawson's just gone past the two. Has to get that car serviced. 3.9 is a little bit slower than they would have been wanting for that one. Ollie will come out just on the fringes of the points. So Verstappen will help you with Ollie Behrman racing against Russell, who I think Red Bull are expecting to stop again.
Yeah, I say again, Norris is not fast enough at this stage of the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
He's got to get those tyres to the end. If he's got to make a pit stop, he would currently come out behind Antonelli, Russell and Verstappen.
Does that suggest to you that they might just be managing the pace to the extent that he turns it into a medium soft one stopper with the help of a few laps behind the virtual safety car and the safety car earlier?
But he needs to either that, and I still don't think his pace is fast enough at that, either that, or he's got some overtaking to do.
Yeah. Here's Carlos Sainz on Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, just holding his breath slightly as he made his way up into 16th. This was Ollie Behrman's pit stop from left.
Stop asking, Robert. I'll do it when I have time.
3.9 seconds. Back out onto the racetrack. Now down in 11th. Fernando Alonso has just got past him. Colapinto now into the pits for what will be the second time in the race for him. The gap out in front, 7.5 seconds between Norris and
Little toy I got from the Japanese festival. Kendama.
George Russell is going quicker
I feel like
than his teammate.
used something
and the
like
race
that
leader.
before.
Max Verstappen, as you pointed out, Martin, a second faster on lap 43.
Yeah.
Norris and Oscar Piastri over a second faster, but he is now nearly 19 seconds back on the race leader. So planning to pit again, McLaren, and put the undercut on George Russell when they can get close enough to do that.
Yeah, but they're going to have to overtake now Max Verstappen.
Oh, wait.
To win the
Verstappen still has a penalty.
Does
So
it?
now Max's tyres by then will be the 10 laps
What?
old now.
Max has
Add
a
another.
Yeah, what? Oh, no, he has fastest lap.
Okay.
Never mind.
So,
I thought it was a red.
It's doable, but if McLaren are going to do that, they need to plan early and leave Norris enough time to do what he needs to
Well,
do.
you keep on
Doing what he needs to do, getting past Fernando Alonso into turn 1, up into 10th place. All these points that have been scored by Ocon and Behrman currently, by Hulkenberg at Sauber, by Lawson for Racing Bull. Really, really precious in the battle for the midfield spots down towards the end in the Constructors' Championship. 6th, Racing Bull, 7th, Aston Martin, 8th, Haas, 9th, Sauber, 12 points separated. $30 million from 6th down to 9th, up for grabs in terms of prize money. It's very, very important to each and every one of those teams.
At the moment, the cost cap controls how much they can spend, but the prize money very much controls any surplus they have.
We won't finish with the strategy that I have, because it's pretty for where I'm at. It's the art of good is an expected day on the drop.
He had a chance to podium.
Which his teammate is running and which George Russell is running too. But also Oscar Piastri is running. But what they're saying is you just push. Don't worry about saving the life of those tyres. You keep pushing and then we'll pick you for an undercut attempt to try and get you ahead then of George Russell. because going to the end on the softs does seem, in Oscar Piastri's situation, a very, very tall order. His teammate, meanwhile, that's another matter.
Yeah, well, Norris is sort of heading towards either having to get to the end or having to do quite a bit of overtaking. He's now also beyond Piastri, so if he pitted now, Lando, he'd come out behind his teammate Oscar Piastri.
What will also interest the teams when it comes to strategy is Franco Colapinto's current pace, running in clean air on the medium tyre when he's just pitted. He's just played a 1:12.8, quite comfortably the fastest lap of this race. So if you can get that to pitting again, then there is good chance to try and make those overtakes. What, 28 hours from Sao Paulo down to Buenos Aires, the pace for Colapinto's that'd be about 26 hours to be fair. That might be the fastest drive he's ever done.
How invested are Mercedes and George Russell?
Up into 7th place.
What was his contract extension? Was it for a year or 2 years?
Into the first corner.
So Verstappen will be on the tail of George Russell in about 8 laps, by the looks of it.
And then we'll see if George Russell
Trying to put
pit or try and defend. The more he defends,
trying to put somebody in that race.
Kimi Antonelli. Verstappen doesn't have to pit again. He has run the hard tyre and he's run the medium tyre. Early puncture didn't help, but it did get rid of those hard compound tyres.
Oh my God. Isaac, head down, we have much better tires. Sharpen you again. Thank you.
This is what the car begins to Kimi Antonelli now pits then, 26 laps he ran on those mediums.
Look, my boy's got feelings, but he can also drive. Like,
now, where does he come out onto the track? I would imagine either neck and neck or just behind Liam Lawson. What Mercedes would desperately want is him to be ahead of Liam Lawson because there's a lovely, lovely gap then to Oscar Piastri, but that is not going to happen. So Lawson swoops past Antonelli down to 6th and cleared to race now on those tyres until the end of the race as Ocon now pits, having been passed on the previous lap and down 14th. The pace of Lando Norris is still hovering around the mid 114s, 114.5. Russell has now peaked and is round about that pace too.
So Antonelli's exited 16 seconds behind Verstappen. That's a long way. Right now, Red Bull are playing a blinder, an absolute blinder. If Lando's got a bit of pace to spare, he's going to have to start delivering it soon. Max Verstappen is now within 16 seconds of him and taking a half a second a lap out of him. 32 laps. Yeah. This Verstappen is looking in great shape here for a podium.
Well, he's in 2nd place currently, behind Lando Norris, ahead of Oscar Piastri because George Russell has just pitted. Top 3 in the championship, top 3 in this race. Lawson moves up to 4th and Antonelli moves up into 5th. As we go on board with Ollie Behrman, there's a gap down the inside, and Nico Hulkenberg is going to make this tight for him, gives him enough space. Hulkenberg now has the inside line for turn 2, and make good use of it. But Behrman's going to come back at Hulkenberg now, DRS assisted, down the Retro Imposter, gets his car ahead into the Cito de Lago, took a few corners longer than Behrman wanted, but he's up in the 7th.
Hard and fair racing by the pair of them.
look at my boy, dude. He's going away.
With his fresher tyres.
He's
So
good.
Antonelli has got medium size on the got 6 laps.
He's got the charisma too. Like,
fresher tyres.
my boy's there.
Than his teammate, and there's obviously a gap between them, but not much of a gap as we can
They
watch.
love their Brits in F1 too.
Hulkenberg once again, brilliant car positioning.
Goodbye.
I said they love their Brits in F1 too.
Yeah, they're ready. They're both ready.
I mean,
extremely well.
They love promoting the Brits.
They're
in their race.
You know,
Nico trying to make his car
And a lot of the teams are.
They're a tiny bit
located there.
Yeah.
Other driver.
It's like maybe a tiny bit biased. And that's what I love about Williams.
Is awesome.
Good news for Yuki.
That's what I love about Williams is because they have Albon and Sainz, and they both know how to drive cars.
Right now I'm watching 2002 season and Williams is the number 2 team in the league, like behind Ferrari.
Really?
Juan Pablo Montoya and Ralph Schumacher are the drivers. Yeah, they're being BMW Williams.
Lando Norris is coming into the pits. Now is the time.
I'm just all I'm saying is like they're gonna reach their spot. Like
And Montoya was getting poles over Michael.
Albon and Sainz are both like they both have the same goal in mind.
Not had the problems, and now Norris has to fight for the win with Verstappen on older tyres, assuming they'll get Piastri out of the way. But Piastri will probably pit soon anyway.
George Russell moves up then into fifth. So it's Verstappen now leading the race. And he's a bit out of sync with others because he stopped on lap 7, but starting from the pit lane, he's now leading this race. And the gap between himself and Oscar Piastri is 3.5 seconds. Piastri might have to pit again, and it's the gap then to Lando Norris that Red Bull will be worried about, because Norris has now pitted for a second time.
Yeah, so crucially then they covered off Antonelli and Russell with that pit stop, but the pace Lando was showing the lap thereof and the distance to go, they had to make a stop, obviously, and then they were always going to have a stop.
Something I didn't think I'd say, Rex.
But
The pit lane, I guess. You are now the race leader.
got this new book and learn about the
Nobody has ever won a
creation
Grand Prix
of
from a
OpenAI.
podium start. The man who won from 17th on the grid here last
Same old
year
things.
is leading this
Get ready
race.
for
He's
the
leading from
new
Lando
age.
Norris.
Yeah, exactly.
The age of us never having been
To be
able to
courteous, the next time Lando Norris is on the field.
Congratulations, finally, the world is taking a step forward to Skynet, dude.
By the McLaren team, that was the
Like,
pilot, 2.2
I don't
seconds.
know. Unless you're being sarcastic, yeah.
What?
Unless you're being sarcastic, I don't
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
I was
like,
like, I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic or not there for a second. Getting slightly worried.
I remember somebody said, it's like, did you not see iRobot? And I was like, yeah, I saw it. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I saw Terminator 2.
Before that, yeah.
Better tyres, you got better tyres, he was told by his team. Well, they didn't give him much grip through Casino de Lago, but they gave him enough. And now Stroll is under pressure from Pierre Gasly. He's lost 2 places in the space of 2 corners. And he's got Franco Colapinto, he's got Carlos Sainz right behind him too in the newly
What do you think about Alpine re-signing Franco for next year?
Things are happening.
I think Alpine is gonna have to just not care about who's there and just focus on Pierre Gasly.
Yeah. I thought like they could have supported him throughout this year a little more than they had been. And like maybe he would have driven a little bit better, but it's like I don't know, they just kind of made it like he was gonna lose his job every other race, and that's how Fabio Briatore was talking. It's like if you don't perform the next 5 races, you're gonna lose your job. And
yeah, but Pierre Gasly is
I get that, but I mean, I'm like,
he's a Frenchman on a French
support
team.
a driver, like I don't know, it's beneficial to know you'll be there for
Last lap was half a second faster than Max Verstappen. Carries on like that, then he's going to be.
I mean, they gotta restructure. They gotta focus on one car, and they can't focus on two. Like they have to focus on one.
I think they got in their head too that they're just gonna be like focused on 2026 too.
If you're just joining us, you've missed a cracking.
Maybe that's what the investors wanted.
Overtakes everywhere. Here comes Carlos Sainz on
Talking about Ryan Reynolds and the crew.
Yeah.
What do they want?
That's why I was like, maybe they told them focus on long term instead of 2025. Like the vehicle's gonna be different 2026 Ford. Like make that.
Oh no, they had to
put our money into that.
Yeah, they had to.
So like.
If regulations are changing and the car is changing,
yeah,
that's what you should.
I'm hoping that as fans, like, just forget this year.
So it just started into the 14, 1 minute 14. He'd had 34 laps on those tyres, and if you do that, you've got to do it early so you can take advantage of the fresh rubber. Now we're going to see some speed.
We certainly are. So Norris leads from Antonelli, from Russell. Then comes Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson's got Oscar Piastri right behind him now because Piastri's just put on Lawson. 7. Fastest lap of the race. There is Oscar Piastri making his way out of Ticino del Lago towards Ferradura. I dare say you would like to have cleared Liam Lawson before this middle part of the lap.
Second time he's had to do that. Lawson stayed out on those tyres for 35 laps now. Doing a great job up in currently 5th place. That's not going to last long because the McLaren should and will fly past him down the pit straights.
On board with Oscar Piastri down towards Pico de Pato, turns in on the inside. The Australian has cleared Lawson, and he needed to do that. Toot sweet, as they say in Melbourne.
He wasn't going to wait for the pit straight, was he, on this occasion? So Piastri there with a great overtake there. And next up the road for Oscar Piastri is Max Verstappen. You can see him. Can he catch him? Karoon.
I think Verstappen's looking forward, Marty. I don't think he's looking behind. He's absolutely flying on this first lap on those new soft tyres. He's looking forward. He's got 13 seconds to the lead with 2 Mercedes in between them. Lando Norris's tyres, by the way, were 9 laps old even before he put them on properly. Right. But now they've done a total of 14 laps by the information I've got here. So that's 14 laps old mediums for Norris versus brand new softs for Verstappen. And we've got, what, 15 laps to go.
Just need him to stay in the points, on the boats.
And Piastri's tyres are how old?
Oscar Piastri.
So the situation has now changed. So we are now defending this position. 16 laps remaining. We just need the best stint to the end. Best stint.
Pete Bonington talking to Kimi Antonelli and saying best stint to the end. If he gives it his best stint to the end, he might still end up in P2 in this race, which will be his best finish in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, Mercedes could do with a very wide car in the hands of George Russell when Verstappen arrives on his gearbox.
And Verstappen will be arriving on his gearbox on this lap. What's that? 2, 6, 8, 9 tenths quicker for Max Verstappen, nearly a second quicker on that lap behind George Russell. Here comes Ollie Behrman and Liam Lawson. Slowly but surely, Ollie Behrman's been put in a terrifically consistent race here this afternoon as well. Started an equal career best 8th on the grids, and after 4 consecutive Q3 appearances, and he's now up into 6th place, which might be what they were targeting for him.
Verstappen then just 4.6 seconds behind Russell now and took a second out of him on the previous lap. He certainly...
It's been a fairly vulnerable tyre this match, so yeah, do your best.
I'll take the loose.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. He's really taking a lot of life out of them, and Japero Lambiase on his pit wall are like, yeah, be careful, they're a bit fragile.
In 3 laps, Max Verstappen should be right there with George Russell. The fastest 2 drivers on the track.
Now we now break with the right again.
You've got the right on our limit here, George.
You've got the data, mate. You tell me when they're on the limit. I don't want to be bringing it up.
Such a little snub.
George Russell getting a bit anxious, I would say, in the cockpit here. And I'm not surprised.
And that's why we need to reduce the number.
And and they're fast enough ahead in terms of time of the top three to make this a very interesting climax.
Absolutely. Norris just done a personal best on the 2 previous laps, so he's starting to push on a little bit up front. He knows there's a good fight going on behind him, so the top 5 are within 4 corners.
Stops around up there.
And I dare say, you know, Lando's thinking of the championship too. This is
Going to look a different apartment down the street, and I looked at the reviews saying the elevator broke down like almost once a week, and I was like, never mind.
That might be preying on his mind a little bit too. George Russell's got brake issues.
I thought that's what he was talking about. Brakes, they're on the limit, and he's basically saying, look, I don't want to find the limit the hard way down into turn 1. I think that's what it is. Why I hesitated, because I wasn't entirely sure what he was talking about, but it's the brakes, and he's nervous of them.
Certainly is. 1:13.3 on the last lap for Lando Norris. He's pulled out 3/10 on Kimi Antonelli. He's pulled out 4/10 on George Russell. He was 4/10 slower than Max Verstappen, and he was 3/10 slower than Oscar Piastri. 15.5 seconds back, Piastri. What has he got in him to try and close it down? Because Teddy's got to try and do something.
We've been saying that all weekend. He's got to try and do something, and whether it's not being fortunate with the rub of the green with the stewards, what looked like a racing incident, or crashing in the sprint race, just hasn't gone the way of the Aussie, has it? But I've got a line from Mercedes on these brake issues. They say that the brake wear is okay, but George Russell does need to cool them down by doing that lift and coast at the end of the straights.
No lifting and coasting for Alex Albon. A bit later on the brakes than Franco Colapinto. He's up the 14th.
Team 2 is on here, Max, assuming you can control the deck.
Wow, what a drive that would be. P2 from the pit lane is what they are targeting, and the gap currently 4.6 seconds between Antonelli in second and Verstappen in 4th.
Get ready, Russell.
Again, Max Verstappen is flying along.
He's coming.
We could debate that. We'll debate it, no doubt, after the race on Skypad. The Piastri incident, racing incident. Was he squeezed? Was he over ambitious? Did he keep his car under control? No, he locked his front brakes. Why did he lock his front brakes? So that I think will be an argument that will run for a while.
I think that's what the stewards would have said. Was he under control as he was making his way down the inside? And by looking up, that gives them the impression that he wasn't under control, which is why they find him, what's normally the terminology, predominantly at fault for the accident, or majoritively at fault.
You're not expecting wear concern on this tyre. You have 12 laps remaining, so best into the end, mate.
Yeah,
fighting overheating, mate.
fighting overheating. I think was what Kimi Antonelli was saying there. Driver of the day, Salesforce driver of the day. Max Verstappen's comfortably leading that one. Not surprisingly, to be honest. Gap under 4 seconds between Verstappen and Antonelli, and Verstappen is nearly in DRS range to George Russell ahead of him. Meanwhile, Piastri just a couple of tenths, 3/10 faster than Lando Norris on that previous lap, and he needs to just pick up the pace as well, because every point is precious. He wants to get Russell at the very least, and maybe Antonelli too, to stop his teammate taking a bigger advantage at the top of the championship. There's only 3 Grand Prix and 1 sprint to go at the end of this race weekend. It is looking very good for Lando Norris out in front. The battles are all going on behind him.
Yeah, it's going to be very close, isn't it? I mean, if Verstappen can clear the 2 Mercedes very quickly, and I don't think that'll be that easy to do, but especially as he gets into the dirty air and on those tyres he's been giving a bit of a thrashing to, he'll have Norris very much in view at the end of the Grand Prix. But did you see that back of the Red Bull there, just waggling around, moving around under traction coming out of turn 12? And I would imagine Max is also struggling with a bit of rear tyre temperature.
And George Russell having to lift and coast. That allows Max to gain when it gets into the braking zones. And look how close he is through the Senna S's and down the hill towards the Retro Aposta. Now, is he close enough for Verstappen to try and make a move here? DRS gives you about an extra 20 kilometres an hour, maybe 22 kilometres an hour on the Red Bull, an extra pace. Now he's a bit too far back on this occasion.
Well, unless he can mug George Russell on one of the smaller braking zones, which would be a surprise, he's going to have to wait to the pit straight again, isn't he? So this is the problem he's got, clearing the back market, clearing the cars between him and Lando Norris.
Yeah, the gap now 2.8 seconds. Antonelli to Verstappen, but George Russell can really help out his teammate if he can keep Verstappen at bay for at least a couple of laps. It's not easy to do here because of the DRS, the 20 kilometres an hour extra pace, and because of the slipstream effect you get on this 1.2 kilometre blast up towards turn one, where Verstappen is a hell of a lot closer on this particular occasion, and he's trying to make his way up into the top three, and George Russell could be a bit vulnerable here. He's going to have to go around the outside, Verstappen, and does swoop around the outside. He knew exactly where he had to put his car. Russell made it hard. Verstappen made it look easy. He's up in the thirds after starting from the pit lane.
Ooh, look at our boy! Look at our boy driving, bro! Look at him drive!
That, and then
Go for
Look at him drive,
Go
bro!
for P1 next.
And,
Don't stop at P2.
Look at that boy drive!
Coming out of
Don't
turn
stop
12.
at P2.
If he gets there, he'll get the job done. Piastri then starting to catch George Russell as
Look at
well.
this, look at this.
Slipstream, rear wing open.
Oh, outside, dude. He went outside.
Okay, which way you go? I'll go the other way.
Good job, mate. Around the outside, around the inside.
And they love that in the grandstands, they really did. Whether you're cheering for Red Bull or whether you're cheering for any one of the other drivers today, that looks impressive. Might be a candidate for overtaking of the day. If that
They're just like,
still
the
coming
people
on
with
the
Ferrari
stand,
were cheering. It's like, it doesn't matter who you cheer for. It's like, yeah, you
this is going on.
cheer for
and he's
news.
just
Like,
Like,
you're at the race.
The roar of the
Exciting,
crowd
yeah.
is what you want to see. Like,
Exactly.
The gap between the
Rooting
top
for anything
five,
once.
13.7
you know, and that's where the British Grand Prix just ends up being like the
Yeah.
race
Yeah.
of the year.
They
Like,
appreciate
they appreciate it a lot more there than other
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
P4 there is Oscar Piastri.
Meanwhile, Nico Hulkenberg's shaping up to have a crack at P7 in a moment. Take down to you.
And they are both one-stoppers, Lawson and Hulkenberg, trying to be one-stoppers. That's actually allowing Ollie Behrman to be quite secure in P6. I don't know if he knows this, Crofty, but he's kind of solidly, 10 seconds behind Oscar Piastri, and comfortably about by the same margin ahead of Lawson and Hulkenberg, who are having a fight between each other and on an economy run on a one-stopper. Hatchard must be a bit frustrated.
like
He's a couple of
it's
seconds
like
behind
9.8
Hulkenberg,
action
trying to make a
in
two-stop work.
65 laps, we're on lap 65 I should say, for our race leader Lando Norris, and championship leader too. Kimi Antonelli crosses the line, 7.7 seconds behind him. Max Verstappen crosses the line 2 seconds behind Kimi Antonelli. Piastri crosses the line
Right, bro.
2 seconds behind George Russell.
Piastri now 2 laps.
I'm thinking about
a chance to
changing
overtake George
phone
Russell.
brands.
And it's interesting, it's not quite as
Droid.
close to Antonelli in the foreground there.
I was thinking about getting a Samsung.
Maybe those soft tyres have taken quite a punishment. It was a couple
Just
of
for
tenths
one of them or
on
both
that
of them?
previous lap.
Just for one of them.
A couple of tenths,
I still want to be a part of
they've got performance.
the blue text messaging system,
Yeah.
but
I was like, is there a way to manipulate it to where you can still be blue? No? They have it locked out.
it's their solemn rule. Hey, we need to know who you're texting.
Yeah.
You're either texting a person on an iPhone or you're texting a person on a Samsung. we're gonna purposely disconnect your phone every time you send a text message to a Samsung.
Safety car conditions.
Is it cool if I try some more?
Yeah.
He needs that extra.
Much as you want. I'm almost done.
It's an extra 2 points. But
So
every point
I'm gonna take one more trip.
Are you?
Or I'm gonna take a trip soon.
Whereas
What day?
championship.
I'm thinking it will probably be maybe next weekend.
Having not been on the podium at any
Is there a weekday you would be able to do?
I get paid on Friday, so I'm trying to wait, but
Kimi Antonelli, I think the last 5 races would have scored more points
I don't
than
know.
Oscar Piastri, such as
I don't think there's a day I
his
can
form
right now.
been. Hulkenberg, just watching him and Lawson, that's the closest.
If there's not a day during the week, then I
I
would
think we can do anything.
I would prefer during the week.
Of the
is
vote
what I-
now going Max Verstappen's way in the Salesforce
But
driver
if we
of
can't
the day.
manage that,
Nico
then-
Hulkenberg trying yet another overtake in
We
this
need
race.
to go out on like Monday or Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Struggling on time.
Let's go out.
Hulkenberg's going to try and fight this down towards Ferragamo.
Last week I went to
And Lawson manages to hold
chess
on
club
to
and,
7th place. And while we watch that, Oscar
yeah,
Piastri gained a couple of
got in
tenths
a good
on George Russell on this
conversation, kind of combo with the bartender up there about like music and stuff, and I was like, yo, turn your music up, and we're like, knew the artist who was playing, so I had like
So
go on
Antonelli, so
Monday,
leaving it
chess
to you,
club,
mate.
pretty chill.
And he's
Oh, yeah.
doing it, handling it very well, isn't he?
With all due respect to Hulkenberg and Lawson, which is a pretty terrific scrap here, these are the two we should be concentrating on. Antonelli and Verstappen, and Russell
And
and
actually have a cool
Piastri.
loft
We're going
area on
on
the second
for the next
floor.
couple of laps on this one.
Like
Verstappen
streaming and
inching
stuff.
ever closer
Really?
to Kimi.
Did you ask them about streaming?
No, but
Grand Prix for Max Verstappen.
Okay.
They stream there.
Grand Prix for Kimi.
They stream,
Antonelli is trying to
tournaments,
his
yeah.
second podium and
I'll
his
ask.
best ever finish in Formula 1. If he can
But yeah, we can go there.
P2. He would equal his best ever finish.
That's
if
what I like,
Verstappen
but
gets
we can
past
go to
him.
your spot too.
Inch by inch, that Red Bull does seem to be getting that.
No,
I
chess
need to
club is
change
a
it
better
up.
place.
Going through
Oh,
the
and you,
sections
no. You don't
I'm
need to
not-
change it up.
Okay, okay.
within
Yeah.
DRS range.
I'm remembering my rules. I didn't change my location. I was always in the same.
Up the hill we go.
I keep
It's
seeing
1.2 kilometers from just
Whoever works for their social media,
There goes the DRS for Verstappen.
Yeah,
He's already scrubbed
get
up
there
4
when
tenths
they're
of a second by the
there.
time they get to the corner.
Yeah, that DRS is critical for him now. Drag reduction system, rear wing open.
Or at least whoever the models are for all their
Coming through
social
turn
media
2
pictures.
there. And that's
For
now-
they hire the
they-
models.
No, I just meant like models and whoever's up there when they do pictures.
That's critical.
Maybe it's their staff.
Range now. Second place is very doable for him.
If you are just switching over to the Formula 1 and joining us, this has been a dramatic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Lando Norris, the championship leader, is set for another victory, his second in a row in the space of the last 2 Grand Prix, and what will be his 7th win in 2025. Max Verstappen started from the pit lane, and he's challenging Kimi Antonelli, who started on the front row for second place by the checkered flag. Oscar Piastri made a move on Kimi Antonelli into turn 1, then hit the Mercedes, and then caused Charles Leclerc to retire from the race. He's trying to get 4th place and salvage something from this race. Let's now watch Antonelli, 19 years of age, up against the 4-time world champion Max Verstappen, who's got DRS, and he's gaining, but he is quite a long way back going into turn 1.
Then Antonelli needs such a good exit from turn 2. And again, Verstappen struggling, those tyres have had enough. And struggling with the grip, but he's still in DRS. He'll be close on the way to turn 4, but not close enough.
And behind these two, Piastri is getting ever closer to George Russell too. So we might see 2 places swap in a few moments' time, at exactly the same time. Just a few car lengths between George Russell and Oscar Piastri, about 0.3 of a second. The gap is nearly 10 seconds out in front between Norris and Antonelli. He's checked out, and he will be checking out the winner's trophy at the end of lap 71. What a race this has been. And to be fair to Kimi Antonelli,
It's just cursed.
this is super defensive.
I'm cursed.
Yeah. Can use to give him an extra charge, but he's defending so well.
He is. Max looks ever closer though, doesn't he, on this particular run through turn 12. But Antonelli
say
keeping his
something
head very well
about-
indeed, considering the pressure, considering his lack of experience. But yeah, he's had a good run, hasn't he? There, Max will close in, but he's a long way behind unless he does a wild dive from there. So now he's about turn 4. Antonelli's very good through this turn 2. Gives him a good launch all the way through 3 and builds a little bit of a buffer as Verstappen comes back at him again with his rear wing open. Is he close enough? No, he's not. He's just trying to
keeps like every post that
Are we allowed to do that?
I'm like, who are these?
Am I allowed to put my feet on
the
couches with my...
Between the cars behind them, by the time they get through June South, that should be able to keep them ahead.
That's the
I think what they're
upstairs
targeting
area
and looking at. But have they now, after
Well, look, if I can put my feet on the couch, I'm
the
good.
previous lap,
and they do spotlights on different players and stuff.
What do I have to do?
Spotlight.
What do I have to do to get up to the loft? Do you have to be a member to get in?
No, you just walk up there.
Okay.
Well, look how that
I'm a member
is
though,
squirming away there as he tries to get the power down. But Antonelli looks a bit further ahead than he has.
I get 10% off everything now, so
Max
whenever
had
we
the best
go,
of those soft compound tyres. Antonelli's
get us
getting off
discounts
the
on
key
it.
corners faster, and Max has another look down the inside, trying to distract his rival. Antonelli can get a good run out of here, and he has a
What do you normally do
his
when you're
last
there?
chance to try to
I love the smash burger and fries, but I mean, like I have been bringing my laptop, and then I grab a book from the chess library and study that, and it's like playing myself. And then actually the last time somebody like came up and like tried to challenge me, and they beat me. But
I'm gonna bring my Switch.
I was like, I need to just like go out there and just hang out.
Yeah.
I want to stream from there. Just such cool vibes. So cool.
Verstappen on the tail of Antonelli. Lando Norris, meanwhile, is making his way right now.
You know, I always have good connections with the
It's
staff.
the 7th win in 2025.
Damn.
Championship leader who extends his lead out in front. Lando
Podium.
Norris wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. But who's going to come second? Antonelli.
It's not really a question. It's gonna be a
Grand Prix finish ever. Kimi Antonelli takes second place. Verstappen from the pit lane comes home to finish on the podium. What an effort from him. George Russell holds off Oscar Piastri to take 4th place. Piastri in that 10-second penalty costing him dear on a bad weekend for the Australian. He's
Pretty sick right now. Fred. You know Fred again, DJ. You know who he is? He's doing to release his new album. He's 10 weeks. He's going to 10 different cities and like creating 10 different songs for his new album. I mean, he just does DJ sets. But, they're incredible. He produces sick beats and gets cool artists to work with him and stuff.
This track, old school, the old school track always give us.
Alright, fam. I'm gonna hang out with Iceman. We'll see y'all soon.
It's good to see you.